Well, hey neighbors, welcome to the shed shop. I have just come back from an hour of being abused by my massage therapist, Tanya. She beat the hell out of me, and then I paid her. There was even some hair pulling involved. Hey Gary, welcome to the shed shop, neighbor. In this video, neighbors, we're going to be taking some measurements on an ms280 piston to compare with an 034 piston. And Gary is a neighbor that messaged me on eBay and asked me could I take these measurements for him. And I thought, well, yeah, sure, I don't mind doing that. I said, but I do have an 034 piston. I don't know why it's not listed. Nonetheless, Tanya has ordered me to take it easy today, and so doctor's orders must stand. Chainsaw Redeemer, as much as he wants to go cut up that big ass walnut some more and run that big ass 575 he's built and that 361 down there and my Husqvarna 55 that I need to sell. Doctor's orders are doctor's orders, so this is a small task I can do without tons of physical labor. And so Gary, I'm the Chainsaw Redeemer, okay, Matthew Grover, and this will be helpful for you because I'm fairly certain I know the measurements you're requesting, neighbor. And the video, I know you said don't worry about it, but what if somebody else needs these numbers? Hey neighbors, do any of you need these numbers? Is anybody else going to benefit from this video? I've got to reach over and get the calipers though, neighbors, because I can't measure with my finger. My permanent marker millimeter lines have worn off, so I no longer have a ruler on my hand. I told Gary, I don't have mics, but I can take your measurements with a set of calipers and we'll get as close as we can. So essentially, Gary had asked me for the wrist pin size. Well, neighbors, let's get that right out of the way. That's a 10 millimeter. So is the 034. It's actually the same exact part. And then our rings, okay, same exact rings. Yes, the packaging is different, but that's because this is older stock Meteor. The 280 piston is. Okay, so the packaging was a little different. So the rings and the wrist pin and the clips, all the same. Okay, identical part numbers. And so essentially, we know we have a 10 millimeter wrist pin. The next thing he wanted was the height of the piston from the skirt to the crown. Also, the height of wrist pin hole from skirt and crown. And for me, I think, okay, I know what he's asking here, neighbors. He's asking for the height. Let me turn you down just a little bit so that light's not reflecting as bad. And then zoom you in. I can't zoom you in this mode, I don't think. I cannot. He said the height from the skirt, which is kind of hard on this one. I'm pretty sure by skirt he meant over here. And this is a curved piston. So again, that's not a measurement 100% know what he's talking about. He said from the crown to the hole, but is he talking about the top of the hole, the center of the hole, the bottom of the hole? And I don't know, so we're just going to give him all three. And by skirt, again, neighbors, I'm not a porter or nothing. I just know the skirt is the bottom. And when I think of at the skirt, that's going to be the intake and exhaust side is my lowest point. And so we'll have to set that on a flat surface or something and measure up from our flat surface that this is sitting on, because this thing is really curved. It curves everywhere. Curves all over, it kind of makes circles. Okay, so our profile might be hard for me to get that measurement he's looking for. I'm not quite sure. I was also thinking, so essentially, just so you understand the concept, if we have this on a hard surface, okay, like we set it on our bench, we can measure from here to our hole, okay, and that will be overall the bottom, complete the skirt. Okay, so essentially, I'm gonna turn you down to the bench and let's get to work measuring, damn it, neighbors. And hopefully my internet stops doing me dirty, because I have weeks and weeks of footage I can't bring to you guys because my computer and my internet and my phone service are all doing me filthy, foul, and dirty, and I've had to re-edit hour-and-a-half footage. I get tired of watching myself. I don't want to edit the same hour-and-a-half footage 6 times because my chip froze and I had to start all over from scratch again. So a lot of times, neighbors, that's why you get unedited content from the Chainsaw Redeemer until things improve technology wise. Let's get some measurements for Gary, neighbors. Okay, here we are at the bench, neighbors. So I don't know if Gary needs measurements for this one, but maybe we'll give you just a couple of them if we have time. I can't make the video too long because we gotta get it uploaded. So the first thing we're gonna measure. You guys like how I can't speak? I'm gonna use this. This is not flat, so I'm gonna use that there, and essentially I'm gonna measure using the height and depth part, and we will essentially get as close as we can. We'll measure in a couple of spots on our board here. Bear with me, neighbors. Looks like we're looking at about 34 for our height. 33.98. Okay, check that in a couple of other spots, because again, this is a very, in my opinion, crude way to measure this stuff, but I think it'll give him the numbers. Me looking at the very first thing I noticed is these pistons have a significant height difference. Significant. Okay, see, so over here, this is going to be a crude way, because we got 34.41 over there. Doesn't help. Bear with me, neighbors. Yeah, see, I'm getting more like 34.3. I don't think the first one was accurate. .17. That's, again, this is a crude way to do it. So I'm gonna write that down so we don't forget. Our height, I'm getting anywhere from 34 to 34.3 millimeter. Okay, that's the height. Okay, and then see there, I'm getting, I'd say 34.3 is our accurate measurement. I have measured Gary there, or anybody else wondering. I have measured from the top of the crown here to the bottom of the skirt here, okay, for height, and I've gotten 34.3 exactly, and that was my close measurement before. So I would say that is certainly our height, 34.30 meters, millimeters, Gary, and other neighbors. Okay, and then the height of the wrist pinhole from the skirt, okay, and from the crown. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the crown here to the top of the hole, okay, the wrist pinhole. Sorry, neighbors, I shake because of my arthritis, and I don't want to scratch my piston up, because if Gary doesn't buy this, then this is my last 280 piston. Okay, so here's what I've measured, Gary and other neighbors. Right here to the top of my wrist pinhole, and I've gotten 13.28, so I would say it's probably 13.3 if I know anything about making parts and stuff. So from the crown to the top of the hole is 13.28 millimeter. 13.28, neighbors. And then to the center roughly of our hole should be about 18.28, neighbors. Actually, maybe not. It's hard to get an exact center. Yeah, I think that's going to be right. 18.28 would be right. 18.28 millimeter, neighbors. And then so essentially it should be 23.28 next. It's going to be tough to get. Let's see here. So to the bottom of the hole, I'm gonna say, I'd say the safe bet is it's probably 23.3, but 23.28 would make everything exactly 10 millimeter for the wrist pin hole. So 23.28, and then on the bottom, I think I'd probably have to go depth again. But again, I really only need one measurement. Except I don't know if he wants it from here on the skirt. I'm guessing he needs the bottom of the skirt, because I understand I cannot properly explain it. Maybe Gary'd be willing to comment, Gary, if you'd like, and properly explain why do you need these measurements, because of the stroke and what you're talking about, the modifications you're talking about there, Gary, that you might make. Because I don't know the proper wording. I'm not the best guy to do it. I know what you're doing and why you need this, and I already have a feeling you might tell me, neighbor. Look at our height difference. You might tell me it's a bit too much. I don't know though. I'm not a machinist. I don't have a lathe. I don't lathe things. I don't cut cylinder bases and whatnots. I just do minor things like port your muffler, and eventually I'll be porting your cylinders. I don't know. Okay, so then finally, so essentially I'm gonna go with our skirt. If I know, I really can get the math right here, you guys. So if I know my height is 34.3, right? Okay, my total height is 34.3. We take our 34.3 total height, okay, and I know from here, top of my crown to the top of my wrist pin is a 13.28, and this is a 10 millimeter gap. I can get all my numbers. So essentially I'm going to take this total 34.3 and I'm going to subtract 13.28 from it. I'm actually going to go yeah, I really feel all this is going to be a 0.3. That would make sense with the specs of the piston symmetrically as a whole. But I'm still, Gary, you'll see the numbers, neighbor. And if you don't get the video, damn it, I'll do my best to explain by text, neighbor. So it's 13.3, and we subtract that, we come up with 21. And so, if we want to verify, we can do our crude little way of measuring here, and we can eyeball, essentially, roughly, it'd be even just the same roughly here. That looks right to me. As you can see, I'm looking here. That would be flush about with there. And then when I put it here, it's hard to see. But I mean, my eyeball says that looks right to me, that it lines up down here. Okay? I don't know what you guys can see. And so I would say that measurement is accurate and verified. So we'll go up here and say from the skirt to the top of the wrist pin hole, from here to here, Gary, top of your wrist pin to your skirt bottom is going to be 21 millimeter. And then obviously we can do our math and say take 5 more millimeter out of that, okay, and we'll be at 16 millimeter to the center of the hole, okay. And then, and again, I mean, the crude way to verify is literally do this with our mucks or with our calipers. Eyeball the center of our hole. I mean, I just did a quick, you guys. Okay, so, and that's, we got, wait, no, I've got 16. Hold on, we better double check our chit here, neighbors. I don't think it can be 16. Okay. That looks a little iffy to me. So let me do this. Let's see. Did I do my math wrong? 4, 5. I said 5, right? No, that'd be 16, 21. I got 21 down here. See, 21, 31, 34. Yep. Okay, bear with me, neighbors. Don't want to mess this up for Gary. I should be right there, but I don't know. Something seems off. Let's see. If I do it this way, that will help me, I think. I know I've only 0.02 for my business card, so the problem is preventing it from flexing in the center here. I'm just trying to use this way, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to get the best way to get his measurement right. And it's kind of hard doing it this way. Yeah, I think we're at the same thing still, though. Problem is I can't measure it that way because it's slanted. Yes, I believe it's going to be correct, Gary. I mean, I'm doing the best I can here, neighbor. But with not having a flat bottom, there's only so much I can do because I got to cut this video. It's getting way too long. Shit. Sorry, neighbors. Don't mean to swear. Yep, so that's going to have to be it. That's the best I can do. Gary, you saw it. If you think I've done something wrong, you can look. I'm going to watch the footage. I think that's going to be your numbers, neighbor. So again, your wrist pin diameter is 10 millimeter. Your total height from skirt to crown is 34.3 millimeter. And then your skirt to the top of your wrist pin hole, 21 millimeter. Center of hole, 16. Skirt to bottom, 11. And then your crown to the top of your hole, 13.3. We got 2.8, but I think it's really probably 3, buddy. Crown to the center of your hole, 18.28. Crown to the bottom, 23.28. Okay, so this is the customer service we got to do for our neighbors. Even if this man does not buy a single thing from me, it's still so worth it because he has these numbers now, and other people have these numbers now. And so people have more knowledge and more information to share as we customize these saws and do different things to make our lives better, easier, more fun, and less stressful. So until next time, neighbors, be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. Gary, it's been an honor to make the video for you and the other neighbors. Thank you so much for your messages on eBay.